Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99 back on the fight front once again. Okay, so let's look at this fight on the main card between Paige VanZant and Rachael Ostovich on the UFC Fight Night 143. In a way, man, this is like a crossroads fight for Paige and Rachael, man. It's really a test to see if she can get past Paige into the rough realms of the flyweight competition. But and for Paige, this is to see, if she can really perform on that level that she needs to be on. I feel like both of these fighters, they suffered some wounds in the past year, but they're both ready to put it all on the line Saturday. Paige, this is her first fight back since January 2018 when she lost Jessica Clark, and she was out for that time period because she broke her arm in that fight. But I had to take my hat off to the girl because she kept fighting that fight with the broke arm, and she didn't even whine about it. But since then, she's had the surgery. She's been recovering from it. She's went back into training, and she's ready now. But before that, she faced another loss to Michelle Waterson in 2016. Didn't fight any in 2017. So I know she's probably feeling like she's got a lot of ground to cover. Looking at Paige, her biggest strength in her game, I'd have to say, is her striking. Not the best technical striker, but going into this fight, I feel like her best suit is that explosive and unorthodox style of striking that she uses. She could be a fast starter. She could test your chin with some quick strikes and her power. I think a lot of people don't understand that this girl can hit. Like I said, she's not as technical as like Rose or Joanna, but she flurries, and when she does those little flurries, she leaps in and out, and she lands some good hard shots. Also, her kicks. I think her kicks are pretty unpredictable. She can kind of snap those kicks off to the body and to the chin without you timing it. I know it sometimes she can kind of telegraph that little switch kick she does, but it's caught some fighters. It's definitely caught Beck Rollins. And she scored a knockout with that. But she caught Jessica Clark a couple of times to the side with it. And I think that kick does cause some damage. If she can time it right. Also, Paige, she's a very athletic girl. She can move, she can slip out, she can kind of slip in and out of takedowns. And again, her flexibility is her big strong point because, that's why she kind of likes to throw those kicks and at crazy angles. She can let those kicks fly at any moment. She spins and she just kind of throws them at any moment. And that's what makes her explosive also, so she's going to be a handful for Rachael. But looking at some of her weaknesses, these are the things that are going to kind of nullify her strengths as well. Again, her being so explosive at times, just kind of going straight in and out, it can be predictable. And you can kind of counter that style and dodge it, if you're also a good counter striker. Defense, she doesn't have the best head movement. She's not the quickest against like technical strikers like Rose Namajunas. Rose was able to kind of mark her up. And Beck Rollins, before she knocked her out, Beck did land some good shots on her. I feel like sometimes that head movement of hers, is kind of non-existent. But last weakness I'd probably say is her layoff. The layoff. She's been active in other things. She's athletic. Like I said, and she's still young. But this is a pretty long layoff. For her against a flyweight that's competed against someone in the tough show. So we're going to have to see if the time off was good to her as far as her learning more or building up her technique, or did it mess with the reflexes and timing. One more thing I say is her heart. I definitely give her a heart an A, but sometimes she takes some, she takes some crazy chances in there. Sometimes, taking crazy chances, it can be, it's a gamble. Sometimes you can win from it, you can lose from it. But sometimes a person's heart can kind of get in the way of their brain. Sometimes you need to be a smarter fighter than a tougher fighter in there. Let's look at Rachael Ostovich next. Rachael, I think of her more of as a counter striker, just from looking at her past few fights. I think she can land some pretty good strikes, and she has some good power in her hands as well. But sometimes I feel like she doesn't let go enough. I think she has good lateral movement, and she definitely keeps a good position to set up her punches. I definitely think in this fight she has the strength advantage. I think that'll help her in the clinches against someone like Paige, who's also, a good sized flyweight, but not as physically thick as Rachael. Rachael looks a little bit more thick with her body frame, and I think that size is going to be an advantage for her. I think when Rachael gets is able to get Paige on the ground and use more of a takedown. I think when Rachael gets Paige on the ground and uses more takedowns, I think when they get on the ground, I think she'll be a little bit more better than Paige. But if she's able to get Paige down, she could definitely use her size to kind of wear Paige down, kind of like Jessica Clark was trying to do against Paige. And, she also has those hips and quickness to kind of get on her opponent's back and try for a submission. So I think if she nullifies the athleticism of Paige, that'll be more to her advantage. But weaknesses, I think Rachael can start, like I said, a little bit slower, which could definitely come into Paige's favor. Doesn't really get her jab going early. And again, man, I think that Paige, she could kind of, dart in and out a little bit faster and kind of build up an early lead and maybe take the first or even the second round. But I think Paige could get comfortable whenever Rachael waits too much. So, she'll have to kind of start off faster in this fight. She'll definitely have to let her hands go more in this fight. Another question I have right now, too, about Rachael is Rachael ready for this fight mentally? Everyone knows of the past abuse she suffered, outside of the octagon a few months ago. And the question is she fully ready to get back into a fight like this? And is she ready to take this type of damage, physically? I know that the doctor cleared her to fight over the broken orbital bone. I made a video about this before, but that's still a question I have to ask in this fight. I might have to hold that as a weakness right now because, we don't know if she can perform to, her full extent. If Paige has that power, she could land something big over by that eye, that could end the fight too. So that's the question, man. Is she fully healed mentally and physically from that abuse she suffered? But she's back. I have to give her respect for that too. She has just as big as heart as Paige does, but she's fought all the way through some of the toughest fights, and I feel like this is going to be a fight that's really going to test her level. Play out and prediction. I could see this fight starting off a little bit slower. Maybe Paige wanting to start off a little bit slower with the arm to kind of test it out. She might want to, wait a few minutes in the round, but knowing that the showman she is, and her being explosive, she could start off fast in this fight. She could start off fast and try to get Rachael to trade with her. And I think that's going to make Rachael press the action. Then Rachel's going to kind of have to trade with her a little bit more. And once Paige comes in, I think Rachel's going to try to take her to the ground more, and Rachel's going to try to nullify any other attack she has and try to hold her down to the ground until she can try to submit her. But if I had to pick somebody in this fight, I probably have to go with a submission for Rachael. I feel like it could be a submission for Rachael, or it could be a bloody decision that could go either way. So I can see both ladies at any time just kind of ignoring techniques and just trying to show all heart in this fight, and just going all out and putting on the show, just since it's the first ESPN card. But that's my call on this one. Like always, make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all check out these fights. And also, let me know in the comment section who you think is going to win this one, Paige or Rachael. I'm out. Peace.